I got the motor on my test machine. This isn't the machine that it actually would normally go on, but this is one I could hook it up to quickly. This machine's already set up and running. You can see the motor that it is replacing. That's a 5 horsepower. That's a 3 horsepower, 24,000 RPM. 5 horsepower, 3,450 RPM. This little one is water cooled. Got a tiny wheel for it there. The wheel is mounted in these 26,000 RPM bearings, and it's supported by this assembly so that all the belt tension goes onto the bearings and onto this. None of the belt tension preloads the shaft to cause damage on these bearings. I just ground a quick test grind. You can see that it's not lined up yet. I need to make some adjustments in the back to get the tracking and everything lined on. Get excited, and so I hurried and threw it on here just to see. I've been wondering for close to a year now if this motor would have enough torque to pull at the high RPMs, or to pull on the heavy removals that I like to do. I like to grind away material fast, and so I had to test it out. Of course, down low on low speeds it doesn't have the high horsepower and the torque. In my particular case, it doesn't matter. When I'm running down low is when I'm doing finesse work and I'm not taking out heavy removals, so I think it's going to work out well down there. It'll provide RPM control that I need, and horsepower and torque at the top end where I want it. Maybe not torque at the top end. I don't know if I'm using that term correctly. It'll have horsepower at the top end anyway, with all the 24,000 RPM. Go ahead and start it up. This is the hertz. This is displaying in hertz at the moment, and it goes up to 400 hertz. So I'm about just over a fourth. I'll go down here just a little bit so I can say a fourth. Oops, I wasn't paying attention. At 400 hertz, the wheel on the motor is turning at 24,000 RPM, and the belt speed is at 7,200 surface feet per minute. So at 100 would be a quarter of both of those numbers that I just said. I don't know what they are in my head right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put the start button. Pretty quiet. Liquid cooled motor, 220 volts. Alright, we bump it up to half speed. And they're close to half speed. Still pretty quiet. And you can talk maybe in a raised voice. You know, when this thing is running at this speed, you can't talk. Go ahead and run it up. Run it up to 3/4 speed. Take it on up to the top end. We'll do some grinding real quick. Obviously, it's not as powerful as a 5 horsepower. Wasn't expecting it to be as powerful as a 5 horsepower. But it is very respectable in the grinding. I mean, you could see that it hogged it down pretty fast. Hogged it down real well. I'm satisfied with it. I'm gonna proceed forward and proceed forward with this setup. I'm happy with it. I think it's very adequate. I'm gonna go ahead and run it through the rest of its paces and testing. I'll try some more grinds. I'll try some long-term running, you know, because I grind in batches. I'll grind a bunch of batches of stuff. I'll try slowing and see. I'll try slow grinding, see how it works, getting, you know, finessing and on the low end. Thanks for watching. Take care.